So I was actually here in 1982 when this actual airplane first arrived here as a brand new airplane and was in service here for 12 years. The Marshfield Air Museum is an AAM accredited museum, and we keep the stories of the 106-year history of March alive. Some people may not know that of the 72 Air Force bases, March is the third oldest, 106 years. So my goal here as president of the museum is to bring every airplane that has ever flown at March in the 106 years to the museum. And this was one of the planes we were missing. And we can't wait for it to be on display. We've actually already moved 3 other smaller airplanes to make room for this, but we're very excited. And when this airplane and our KC-10s were flying here, they were white. So our plan is at some point to paint this white in its original colors, and we're going to put a March tail back on it. But this number was the original number when it was flying here for the 22nd Air Refueling Wing. So very excited, but I can't thank Colonel Jim Aaron and Major General Jeff Pennington for making this happen. It was a 2-year process, and it's not easy, but if it weren't for General Pennington and Colonel Aaron, this would not have happened. So I'm really, really happy to bring this baby back home where it belongs for permanent display, so our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, and everybody can enjoy the history. So thank you.
And I have to give the credit to the team behind the scenes, Lieutenant Colonel Jim Aaron and all the different contractors and agencies and SPOs that have to do all the work behind the scenes to make it all happen. The museum itself, that had to fund most of the bill to get the flight aircraft down here and do what we call the demil process to get all the fluids off the airplane. So it's really a huge team effort. We've been working on this a little over 1.5 years to get to today. So a long process. To get an aircraft like the KC-10 into the museum and his amazing ability to capture history of an aircraft that served almost 40 years or about 40 years in service and has flown around the world in every contingency since the mid-80s through today. It's still operationally flying. They were delivered here to Marshfield in the mid-80s. So this particular aircraft, it was its first duty station back in the mid-80s. So to bring it back home to where it first came into service and then retire it here at the museum is just a great bit of Air Force history captured right here at the March Museum. I'd encourage everybody, whether in the local area or wherever you live, to go visit the museums in your area. You know, March is just a great history of an amazing museum, from rocket engines, the C-141, the B-52, and all the history behind it. What they've done with this museum here is just amazing. And I know there's other museums around the country that have great history too, whether it's out at the Smithsonian, out at Dulles, near Robbins Air Force Base. We have a great museum, and go out and capture and study the history and inspire the next generation to be great airmen for the defense of America.